In this video, I'll be going over a solution to the District 1 2016 problem Walter. For this problem, we're given some dimensions for different, packaging that might be used, and we have to determine, based on some dimensions given, which type of package would be best suited for that dimension. Excuse me. And if it's not, doesn't fit any of them, then we have to say it's unmailable. Now there's different ways to solve this problem. I think probably the easiest way, or I don't know, the way that I'm going to do it, once it's easiest, I'm going to write some helper methods to kind of classify which of these, mailing things I'm going to use. So let's go ahead and get started here. And I need to, see, I got my previous problem still up here. Let's go ahead and create a new problem or a new file, walter.java. I'm going to go ahead and just copy and paste. All right, close curly braces. I need to change my class name to Walter and my file to Walter. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to make some helper methods here. And the idea is if I'm given a length, a width, and a thickness, I want to know if it's a small postcard. So I'm going to make I'm going to say public static. And that means I can use this method without instantiating a Walter object. So public static, it's going to return a Boolean. It's return either true or false. It'll return true if we can use a small postcard and false otherwise. So I'm just going to call this SPC, small postcard. And it's going to take in a double for length, a double for width, and a double for thickness. And according to the problem, it says small postcard if the length is between 3.5 and 4.25. So let's say if length is greater than or equal to 3.5 and length is less than or equal to 4.25 and width is between 3.5 and 6. So width is greater than or equal to 3.5 and width is less than or equal to 6. And thickness is between 0.007 and 0.016. So thickness is greater than or equal to 0.007 and less than or equal to 0.016. Return true. Else, return false. Now, for those who are a little bit more experienced in programming, you may recognize I really don't have to do if this return true, else return false. In fact, this is really generally frowned upon. I should probably just return the outcome of this statement right here, because if all of this is true, then I want true, otherwise it'll return false. So I can cut down on this code a little bit and just say return this one line. And so we have a one-line method here. Don't need that curly brace. There we go. Okay. And so again, if all of this is true because I've got ands here, then the whole statement will be true. I just semicolon. There we go. So I'm going to do the same thing, but with large postcards. So I'm just going to grab this method and copy it. Go down here and paste it. This time it's a large postcard. We have some different dimensions, so it's between 4.25 and 6. So I'm going to say if it's greater than or equal to 4.25 and less than or equal to 6. Width is between 6 and 11.5, so greater than or equal to 6, less than or equal to 11.5, and then thickness is between 0.007 and 0.016. Okay, so we got that already. Go ahead and paste again. This time it is for small envelope, so I'm just going to say SE. And this is 3.25 to 6.125, so 3.25 to 6.125 in the length. Width is between 5 and 11.5. And thickness is between 0.016 and 0.25. Okay. Got another one. This one's for a large envelope. And for a large envelope, it's between 6.125 and 24. And width is between 11 and 18. And thickness is 0.25 and 0.5. Okay. Then we're at a small package, and it says a small package. I'll go ahead and bring that up here so we can look at it. Small package item dimensions must exceed all rules for large envelope. Okay, so it has to exceed the rules for large envelope. So its length has to be more than 24, its width must be more than 18, its thickness must be more than 0.5. And the length plus the distance around the sides of the package other than the length equal 84 or less. Okay, so I handle that in two parts. I'm just gonna go ahead and say let's see here. So this is for a small package, and let me go to this line right here. Length is going to have to be greater than 24, and width is going to have to be greater than 18, and this is the last bit. The length plus the distance around the sides of the package other than the length. So that's the width and the thickness, but there's two widths and two thicknesses. So I'm going to say 2 times the width plus 2 times the thickness. All right, so in other words, there's really 6 sides to a package. It's rectangular, we have to assume. And so we have, besides the length, 2 widths and 2 thicknesses. And that has to be less than or equal to 84. And then finally we have the large package. I'm going to copy the small package. For the large package, the length around the sides other than the package has to be more than 84, but no more than 130. Okay, so we're going to say this length plus 2 times the width is greater than or equal to, exceeds 84, so it's greater than 84. And the same value must be less than or equal to 130. Okay, so now we've done all the hard work. So now it's a matter of reading in the numbers and figuring out what kind of package they are. So if we look at the problem again, the input we're going to have is going to be 3 values. It doesn't say the several data sets and line all 3 values of item length, width, and thickness. Now in the examples, the length and width both look like integers, but it doesn't say they have to be. So I'm going to go ahead and read those in as doubles just in case. We also don't know how many we're going to be reading in, so I'm going to say while in dot has next int, or has next rather, double L equals n dot next double, double w equals n dot next double, and double t equals n dot next double. And then, well, we want to check which of these cases is true, right? So I'm going to go ahead and say, well, if SPC of LWT then out.println, this is SPC, so small postcard. Else if LPC of LWT, then out.println large postcard. Else if, so next we have the small envelope, SE of LWT, out.println small envelope. Else if large envelope of LWT, out.println large envelope. Else if small package LWT, out.println small package. Else if LP LWT, out.println large package. And finally, else, and this is, there's none of these fit, so now we have to say unmailable. Go auto format. Everything looks good to me. Let's go ahead and run it and see what happens. Probably have a typo someplace. Oh, hey, check it out. It ran. All right, so now let's compare that with what it should be. Walter.out. Small postcard, large postcard, small envelope, large envelope, unmailable, large package, large postcard, small postcard, large postcard, unmailable, large envelope, large package, small envelope, large envelope, small postcard, small envelope, unmailable. Fantastic. And we are done. All right. So again, just an example. Now this could all have been done using, where I have this if right here, right? If SPCLWT, I could have basically just put this whole line right there, right? And then likewise for the next one and for the next one. The reason I decided to use the helper methods is just from experience. I find the more complicated the Boolean argument here, or the Boolean statement, I suppose, the more likely I'm to mess it up. And then this code down here is really hard to read and hard to figure out what's wrong, hard to debug. By breaking this up into the functions or the methods like this, then this is easy to read. It's, LPC, large postcard, LP, large package. It's just easy to read. And if something isn't working right, I can go back and read that method and figure out where my reasoning is wrong in an easier way, I think, than putting it all in one big long bit here. So I don't know. Like I said, that's just from experience. So thank you. Hope that was helpful.